I took the most boring mod I've ever played and I tried to fix it with more mods. Sup dudes, it's Snail, and if you know me by now you know that I am an avid Fallout 4 mod player. I don't actually make mods unless you count the one single mod that I made for Fallout London, but that's neither here nor there. But Fallout 4 mods are the majority of what I do on this channel. Yeah, there's some older output like video essay type beat videos, but really those were never as consistent as my Fallout 4 mod content. Although if you end up watching any of those old videos and you really want me to do something like that in the future, let me know because I could be enticed to make one or two new ones. But that's aside from the point. The point is, recently I found a mod that had a lot of promise going into it, but it was really boring when I actually played it. But before we get into that, if you enjoyed this video by any stretch of the imagination, please hit the like and the subscribe button, as it will let me know what sort of videos I should keep making in the future. Now with all that out of the way, let's talk about Fallout Vermont. Fallout Vermont is a new world space mod that adds a massive new area to explore. As the name would probably imply to any of you who aren't currently scrolling through TikTok while this video is playing, the mod seeks to add Vermont as a playable area to Fallout 4. Now, I'll admit, I am a sucker for new lands mods. I love all of them. If it adds a new area to the game, I'm pretty much there, so I was getting completely ready to immerse myself in this experience. I did think it was pretty odd how sparse the description was for this mod. It reads, "Travel to the beautiful green mountain state, a land of vast forests, colorful riversides, quaint towns, and feral ghouls. Lots and lots of feral ghouls. The ferals, as the locals call them, seemingly appeared out of nowhere. Help the locals combat the ferals and slowly unveil a devious conspiracy lurking in the shadows. There are no quest markers. Explore the world and talk to people to figure out what to do. You'll meet many interesting characters and factions. All characters are fully voiced and lip-synced. AI generated." Okay, so that's sort of sparse on details, but sure, maybe this is still worth a play. That's what I was thinking at the time. After all, I've played many a mod with bad descriptions that paid more than their fair share of fun. I downloaded the mod and I started a new save just to make sure everything would be nice and clean, and I got ready to check it out. So upon starting, I enabled all the map markers with the console, and I found the market for the secret tunnel to Vermont. A quick little note, I don't know exactly why Vermont needs a secret tunnel to get there. I feel like this could have been better done by, like, I don't know, having a railroad track or something and be like, oh, follow the railroad. Walk your way into Vermont, perhaps? But okay, sure. Anyway, I procured some weapons in advance from Arturo and my robot girlfriend.
What are you?
I'm a woman, baby. Can't you tell?
And made sure that I was fully suited up to go fight me some ghouls. After all, this mod is promising a zombie apocalypse sort of feel, and I've played enough COD Zombies to know that ammo is almost always in short supply. So I made sure to grab a whole bunch of different modded weapons. They're gonna be down in the description if you want to play with them. Finally, it was time to head through. As soon as I got to the other side, I thought, huh, this scenery is really nice. Oh look, there's a forest and there's a ton of attention to detail. I mean, look at all this undergrowth here. Let me check the map and see where this road's gonna take. Yep, this is the map. It's just green. I mean, there's some darker green, but it's mostly just green. Okay, fine, it's a little scuffed, I'll admit, but I've done more with less, and I'm in no short supply of cope. So I walked just a short while down this path right in front of me. Finally, I found some sentient life in Vermont. So I made contact, and I immediately remembered what the description said about AI.
Hi there, stranger. I see you found our secret tunnel into the Commonwealth.
I'm gonna be honest, I would have preferred an amateur voice acting performance over this. There's something incredibly jarring about the way the NPC talks.
Hi there, stranger.
So much so that I just skipped it and decided that it would be better to follow the quest mark. Oh, right. There are no quest markers. God damn it. Couple that with there not being an actual map, or much to look at anyways, aside from the awkwardly placed red rocket, and it's very clear I have exactly one option here, and that is simply to walk. So I followed the road, and this is where I began encountering more ghouls. The ghoul spawns and the mobs are very sparse. Encountering them really doesn't feel like it puts you on edge at all. Often you can see them coming from a mile away too, and that means that you can just neutralize them at a distance before you even get close to them. So it completely removes any of the tension and excitement from a zombie apocalypse. I honestly think it would be more effective if the ghoul spawns were placed within the woods and they were more aggressive and numerous, considering you will be going off-road a lot to reach POIs that are up in the hills. because there's no map and there's no quest markers, you have to rely on the POI markers on your compass to discover new locations. Normally, this is fine in Fallout 4. I've played like this many times, but in the Commonwealth, you have the benefit of being able to see buildings and landmarks that may be interesting. But in Fallout Vermont, it is trees as far as the eye can see. So you're basically navigating to POIs completely blind. This would be a great pairing with aggressive ghouls, but these ghouls aren't particularly bright, nor are they very aggressive or numerous. Alright, so all that aside, I go to some POIs and I find some cabins. The cabins are locked. I need a key. Okay, no problem. Let me go to another POI. Eventually, I did make my way to other, like, I guess you can call them towns. And usually the towns are like just asset drops from Creation Club directly onto the grass. There's really not a lot of effort put into landscaping the area or even making it look mildly convincing as a post-apocalyptic area. It all just kind of looks like a child's rendition of a town in a zombie apocalypse. It's honestly one of the mods ever, and definitely a really boring experience. And this was earmarked most by when I encountered what I assumed were some story-critical NPCs. The story makes no sense, and I don't even feel like really telling it, but I mean, we're here, so let's do this. So basically, there's a king, and the king, some people were not happy with his rule. They were like, hey man, this is not what America's about. We're gonna split off, and we're gonna do our own thing, and we'll be a republic, and you can keep your kingdom. And the king was like, I don't like that you're doing that, but okay, I won't do anything about it. This tension is not even tension. There's no drama here. It was just, I'm doing thing A. Oh, you're gonna do thing A? We're gonna do thing B. Well, I guess you've foiled my plans. Oh no. And that's it. That's the story as far as I got before I gave up on talking to any of the NPCs. I do think the mod has potential. I think it could be a good mod. It's just, as of right now, really empty and kind of boring. If it was just given a little more love and attention, I think it would be really something worth playing. But as of right now, it can't really exist without serious duct tape holding the experience together. And speaking of duct tape, this is where the video gets interesting, because I get to tell you about how I tried to fix Fallout Vermont. That's right, a fundamentally flawed experience. I was going to do my best to make this mod as fun as it could possibly be. So the very first mod I used was Ghoul Mob's Rule. This mod makes ghouls harder to kill, and it also spawns more ghouls, both inside and outside. And while you will be dumping a lot more ammo into these ghouls with this mod installed, there is a caveat. The ghouls are now much easier to kill if you land a headshot, since they die in one shot to the face. Now, what if I get overwhelmed by ghouls? Well, that's where Gut Up comes in. Gut Up is a ghoul add-on that kinda mimics the thing they did in The Walking Dead so that they could disguise themselves from the walkers. Except here, it's done to disguise yourself from ghouls, and it works really well. When ghouls die, they drop an item called Ghoul Guts, and you can use that item, and when you use it, it disguises you from any surrounding ghouls as long as you stay walking and calm. Don't shoot, don't run. Those two things will alert the nearby ghouls and cause them to swing full force in your direction. Now next, while the play area is sizable and it's pretty good for exploring, I did feel that it could use some workshops and settlements. Problem is, I couldn't find any. So I did the next best thing and I got the Fallout 76 camp mod. This mod brings the movable camp system from 76 to Fallout 4. It's excellent for being able to establish a base of operations just about anywhere you could think of, and just like in Fallout 76, you can move your camp anywhere you want with this mod. Alright, so those are pretty cool so far, but I am looking to up the ante on the horror experience, and that brings us to Darker Nights. This simple mod is going to make nighttime much, much darker, which is going to help because we're going to be using the Pip-Boy flashlight for extra immersion. And here I used it on the extra dim setting, which is about 50% of the default brightness. I can barely see a thing in the forests, and when I hear a ghoul, I really don't see them until it's too late. And it really adds to the immersion of being in a wooded setting in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. It makes for a phenomenal time and a pretty good way to play Fallout 4 as a horror game instead of a survival. Lastly, the ghouls are kinda dumb, so I decided it was probably for the best if I could upgrade their AI some way, and Fallout 4 Advanced AI Tweaks seems to be the mod for the job. This mod is going to make the ghouls notice me from much further away. Now, it was between this mod and Real.ai, which was made by another mod author who has a bit of controversy behind them, but ultimately Advanced AI Tweaks won out because it does less to the game and doesn't have as much of a chance of breaking it. Speaking of that mod author, the exact same guy also made Decay. Decay is a complete overhaul of Feral ghouls to look truly horrifying. I'm talking a complete retexture. They even have glowing eyes and grotesque wet skin. Also now when ghouls die, they drop items, lots of parts that you can scavenge off of their bodies. You use these parts to then make recipes, which can be used to provide certain benefits to the player character. So with these mods installed, I played the game, and you know what? It ended up being kind of an okay horror survival experience. I mean, I still didn't really care for the story, if there even is one, I don't know. Again, don't care, so I'm not going to play it. But it actually finally allowed me to immerse myself in the world of Fallout Vermont without sort of picking it apart by the nitty-gritty. I will say, even with the added ghoul spawns, it still felt a little bit empty at times, but I was happy to have actual, real engagements instead of just a couple of ghouls at a time. Should you try it? Maybe. Maybe not. But whatever you choose to do, if you enjoyed it, or any of the other mods I listed in the video, make sure you endorse your mods. It's always important to do that. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you endorse it by leaving it a like, and subscribe if you're feeling generous. I'm gonna get back into the swing of making videos a little bit more frequently again. Thank you for bearing with me, you guys. I really appreciate that. I'm Snail. Take care, brush your hair, and peace, dudes.